Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So next we have the different process state here. How is it in the previous slide you try to understand how the program execution takes place with the help of these layer, stack, heap, data, text, all that. Now within this process, how the multiple process, multiple programs, multiple tasks are going to be handled. What are the different states we come across? How we handle when we stop executing process one, when we handle process two, then when we come back to process one, all that to be discussed in detail. For that we have these are the process state. So as a process executes, it changes its state. So I have 5 states when I execute some process. What are the 5 states I have? State 1 is new, state 2 is running state, then waiting state, ready state, and terminated state. So let us understand one by one. What is new here? It's a process state where the process is being created. Now you have started creating the, now you have started writing the program. So if task is given, you are writing the program. You are creating the process, not it started executing. Now you are in the initial stage. You are creating the process. Then what is running? Now program, you are already ready with your program. You have written, completed writing the program. Next step is you have to execute. You need the resources, right? That I will come to that ready state. Before I go to run state, actually I have to go to ready state. Then you will understand running. Ready means what? The process is waiting to be assigned to a process. Now I have created a process. Before I start running, I need some resource, right? Now process is waiting to be assigned to a process. I have to assign the resources for this particular program. So it is in the ready means what? It is waiting for the resources to be ready. Fine. So next what is that I state I will take running. Once your program is ready, resources are ready. Now you are going to execute the instruction. So executing the instructions take place in the running state. Next, in between, I also go for one more state called waiting. The process is waiting for some event to occur. Assume that I have 10 process, 10 jobs. Now, in the running state, I am executing process 1. I may complete process 1, or in between, there may be any request from some process 2. So, based on the requirement, I may complete process 1, then attend process 2, or I will stop executing process 1, then continue with process 2. So, this is called waiting state. That means what? Your process 1 is ready to get interrupted. CPU is ready to attend some other job also while executing the current program. So that is called waiting state. So after completing all this, after completing all the 10 process, what is the last final step you are going to do? Termination. So in the terminated state, the process has finished the execution, finished executing all the process, all programs. That you clearly understand with the diagram now. So this is a diagram, state diagram, diagram of process state. How it switches from each of these states. How many states you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the same thing is taken here. 5 states: new state, ready state, running state, waiting state, and terminated state. What is that you are going to do in new state? You are going to create a process. Once process is created, what is next step? I have to get ready with my resource. So I will use the term here when I will when the data flow takes place from new to ready, I will use the term admitted. That means what I will, once process is created, I will admit to ready state now. In ready state, what is it I will do? I will get ready with my all resources and program is ready. Before I move on to running state, I get ready with all resources. What's that I will do next time? I will dispatch the job. Whatever the program I have, no scheduler will dispatch that. OS will dispatch that. A program is going to be executed in the running state. So your instructions are going to be executed by CPU. So assume that you are in the running state now. Before I complete, I may attend some other job request also. So there may be an interrupt here. So as soon as the interrupt appears, that means what? Before this was the CPU was waiting for an interrupt to occur. Say for example, process one you are executing, you have completed process one. You can assume once you complete process one, CPU can wait for the another process to come now. Otherwise, sometimes even if you have not completed, CPU should be ready to handle some other emergent job. So so we have another state called waiting, where the CPU is waiting for an interrupt to occur. So here during the running state, there can be a chances of IO or event wait. Then your CPU has to attend that event. Then once it attend, it can complete the requested IO job, or it can stop executing that, come back based on the requirement. So it will handle IO job as well as the CPU job, both the user mode, kernel mode. It has to continue with the execution based on the requirement. It will switch between user mode to kernel mode, then kernel mode to user mode. So it will complete executing the program. So once it finish executing, again it will whatever the IO request has come, the device job has to be computed. So this time scheduler will dispatch the IO job. So CPU will execute the IO, the instruction with respect to IO device, external board. So complete executing that, then come back, then continue with the current job. So after you finish executing both the user mode instruction as well as kernel mode instruction, all the processes are done. Now you can exit, you can terminate, the execution. That is done at the last state, which is the terminated state.